Right. Hello, welcome to episode 13 of No Holds Barred. That's Sal.
Yeah.
That's Dr. Rachel. Hey, and I'm Don. And welcome along to, I just said episode 13. And unlucky for some, unfortunately. Thankfully, it's not Friday the 13th. But we've got another special guest this week, as you'll notice if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify. Would you like to say hi and introduce yourself, Rachel?
Hi, I'm Rachel. Rach to Sam, Ra to my youngest brother, and I'm very happy to be here for my second ever podcast guest experience.
Excellent.
On a podcast I greatly admire, so thrilled to be here.
Oh,
thank you. That's very kind. No, thanks for coming. It's great to have you. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're just going to do our usual brief kind of start with Sal's lovely PMQs roundup, because I know she loves doing it. We'll get it out the way, and then we'll just have a general chat about everything and anything as usual. No holds barred. So let's get on with it.
Does that mean swearing is allowed?
Swearing is very much allowed.
I can't not. It's a form of Tourette's. Swearing is actually good for pain. You see, it reduces pain levels, and that's scientifically proven.
Fucking A.
Speaking of pain, PMQs this week. If it had a title, it would be hypocrisy. Yeah. I'm just going to do the headlines because it was so diabolical. I mean, it is every week, but there was a different flavour of terrible this week. I don't know. It was just boring and evil and stupid, which is a rare combination. Storm had the audacity. He paid tribute to a few things when he stood up, like the 7/7 bombing, etc. I mean, what caused the 7/7 bombing again? I'm sure people can understand why that happened, which is bizarre because he then went on to talk about the anniversary of the genocide in Srebrenica. And then he said,
right,
we redouble our efforts to fight hate and intolerance wherever it exists. Except that's not what you're doing at all, is it? We're just creating more suicide bombers.
Yeah.
Then we had a plant question, which was basically so Starmer could stand up and say there'd be NHS walk-ins in every town.
Right.
Yeah, the plant question so that Stormer could stand up and say there'd be an NHS walking in every town, which apparently there isn't anymore. I used to put down Bad Enoch, now I just write it. Labour promised not to increase taxes. Will he stick to that promise? Which did bring about a bit of a shock because he just replied, yes, which was quite confusing to get such a direct answer. In fact, people laughed. Such was the
very
shock.
Unusual.
And I'm just going to give you the headlines because it was literally just a shit fight between toddlers like it is every week. It was just ridiculous. There was no substance to it.
Well, they're on the summer wind down as well, aren't they? So.
Well, they're just talking words
I thought
for
you
the
said
purposes.
summer wine then.
Oh, well, that too, probably.
Summer wind down. They'll be allowed to bring in board games next week.
Twist.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sal. Carry on.
She described. I can't get over my disgust. She described giving 28% pay rise to doctors who haven't had a pay rise in over a decade as weak. I hope she requires a lot of surgery during the rest of her life. So I just, what a cunt, I wrote.
Especially from junior doctors.
Will they lift the NI freeze? She asked. Starmer said, we are fixed on our fiscal rules. I'll remind them they're arbitrary rules that they are sticking to for reasons no one can fathom. She wanted to know, should pensioners be dragged back into paying tax, which some of them may, I believe, due to his new fiscal rules. And he said he wasn't budging on it and basically went on to deliver some sort of sermon and pass the words. She highlighted the council tax promise that they said they wouldn't put up council taxes when in fact council taxes have gone up. I didn't think council taxes were the business of government. I thought they were regional decisions taken by councils, beleaguered by the pitiful amount of money government gives them. Maybe government
correct.
tell them what to do. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But she basically said how we'd done a U-turn on that. And he said...
that was a Farage line that she's nicked there.
He countered it by saying she's got to know, because if they were in that position, they wouldn't reverse it either. So I guess there must be something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and she shit herself about wealth taxes. So she had to bring that up. And it was quite nice for the first time ever to see Keir Starmer swerve a question. I approve of that swerving because it gives him the room, doesn't it? And she lied. My God, does that woman lie? She said the Tories left the fastest growing economy in the G7, I think she said, which has been absolutely disproven. It's like when the police say crime figures are going down because they've removed several subjects of the crime statistics. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Just bullshit. But it's on Hansard.
I think that figure wasn't that figure because they went up in 1 month. They went up in a 1 month period just before they got kicked out, and then that's why they keep regurgitating that line, even though for the previous 6 years it had been.
Yeah, but the baseline was dog shit. So it was like, you need to be up here, but you've improved to this much here. Type boast for a month. It was just bollocks. Ed Davey offered his 72 votes for the Send bill if it's disability bill all over again. If Keir Starmer would work with the actual professionals and charities involved to have a Send bill that works and not something that just saves money. And Starmer came back and he said it's absolutely not about saving money. It does need reform, but we will work with the people we're already working with to fix it, which clearly they're not doing very well, or Ed Davey wouldn't need to stand up and question it. So it's that we know best thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just outrageous. Yeah, he's just a twat. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. And then I turned it off because I just couldn't anymore. There just seemed no point to it, and it was burning my brain. So yeah, there's the headlines.
Fair enough.
PMQs, rubbish.
So
as usual.
So you didn't make it to Farage's question.
I couldn't even.
You didn't get to Farage's question yet.
I've lost the will to live. Don, can you tell me about? Will it not be in the reform roundup?
Yeah.
Are you going to put it in the roundup?
That's number 1 on my reform roundup list.
Well, there you go.
Sorry?
I don't want to take it off you. That's your area of knowledge, not mine. So
cool.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
No, I lost the will to live and I don't care.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, PMQs is the quality's just dropping off a cliff every single week. It's horrendous.
It's not been good for a number of years, but it's beyond.
Well, no, it hasn't. But Badnock's taken it to new lows, I think. She's not very good at it at all. And every week she comes up with some useless kind of facts that she's nicked off of Reform or found on the Tufton Street website and punts them over to Keir Starmer, who either dodges them or just kicks them back to her. And it's not much fun. I used to watch it every week, and now I just can't be bothered with it at all.
She's like a very big dog.
Yeah. I think we've said before, like, I think she's fighting for her life. I think she knows she's on borrowed time now. I think by conference season she's probably going to be almost out the door, and I think she's just trying to scrap as hard as she can. But in scrapping, she's coming across as this kind of petulant kind of student politician doing some sort of debate in the common room, and it's not good at all. The Tories have fallen a very, very long way, but
she's evil, man. She's just evil.
Yeah. And it's just so bad for our democracy, not that PMQs were ever a great way for people to be informed about what was going on in their name. But as you say, it really has. I date the jumping of the shark of PMQs to the very end of the last government. And I can't remember who, two horrible Tory women both leapt up to the dispatch box at the same time to harangue Labour, and the speaker had to intervene. I wish I could remember who it was, but it was just so...
Was it Braverman?
Inappropriate.
Yeah.
No,
sounds like a Braverman kind of thing to do. They're just awful people.
Yeah.
It might have been Braverman and another one. Anyway, it's not a good look for a really ancient democracy, if that's what we really are.
It's so immature.
Sorry?
Because you've got these really immature psychologies who've got no life experience or understanding of how the planet really works or should work, and they care even less. It's baffling.
Yeah.
It's no surprise we are where we are, because we keep putting up with these monsters.
For a while, PMQs was kind of like the sort of, showstopper of the week. People would tune in and see Boris Johnson versus whomever, and
but even
Starmer, and then before that the Brexit stuff, and so it became quite entertaining. But now it's gone past that into this kind of just mundane bollocks. It's just rubbish.
It's rancid. And of course, it's supposed to be for us to hold power to account, and
exactly, that's the problem. That's exactly the problem. Nothing is working the way it's supposed to, because it's been taken advantage of by manipulative psychopaths. And here we are, just sitting and going.
Talking of manipulative psychopaths,
is that a good segue, Don?
Great Sal segue. Yeah, thank you. Farage and PMQs this week. He did a bit of bobbing and got a question, and as soon as he stood up, he was loudly jeered, and people kept shouting at him and booing him. It was quite funny from my perspective, probably not from his, but he did get his question out, and obviously it was about immigration and small boats. Of course, I mean it's Nigel Farage. I think the funniest bit, and I'll put a link to the video underneath, is I think it was Politics Joe put the video out. The question before Starmer's answer was, whoever the con men and grifters are, we're going to come after you and find them. And he was looking straight up, and the speaker said, and now we go to Nigel Farage. I mean, a more perfect question and answer. It was a bit like that. It was a bit like the Two Ronnies sketch where he answers the answer before the one before. And it was perfect.
Oh, brilliant.
And so then Farage had to stand up, and everyone was immediately laughing before he'd even opened his mouth because of what Starmer had said. But it got even funnier because after PMQs, Lee Anderson reforms. Sorry?
Do you think he did it on purpose, Starmer, knowing Farage was going to stand up after he'd said? Or was it just
looking straight at Farage when he said it? Yeah.
No,
he was looking at him. I think
marvelous.
Yeah.
But it plays into Farage's hands, though, doesn't it? Because now he can do his whole victim martyr bit. I mean, I still blame Barack Obama for everything that's happened in the USA, because he took the piss out of Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in front of everyone who mattered. And the narcissistic injury was so huge that we are where we are now. Yeah. So I think it's dangerous to have that bit of fun in the short term. What can be done with it in the long term is not great.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. I think
because the instincts just go in it. But you're absolutely right.
But what made it even funnier later on was that Lee Anderson, their chief whip in inverted commas, raised a point of order with the speaker and stood up and said he was very upset by the way Nigel was treated. He was really upset by the way Farage was treated, and that he was so loudly booed that barely anybody could hear him. And his quote was, sorry, let me just get it right. Oh yeah. We in Reform are not in the business of dog whistle politics. Really?
Was there more laughter?
Well, there was barely anyone left, but the people that were there found it very amusing. Yeah.
He's literally
So
said on camera
Reform apparently
repeatedly.
are not dog whistle politicians.
He's admitted that he would use immigration as a wedge issue. That is literally posh talk for I'm going to be a racist dog whistler.
I know.
One thing that gratifies me about your podcast is that you very often discuss politics in the context of psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's my biggest thing. To me, it's rarely about politics. It is about psychology. I think it's the only way we're going to fix it, right? Because for years, we've been in an abusive relationship. And I've written about this for Byline Times, for Byline's Cymru, when I was editor-in-chief of it. That until we recognize this, it's never about politics, it's about psychology and us being gaslit, about projection, all the rest of it. And until we can move past that, there won't be true governance.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, capitalism breeds psychopathy because it's a greed problem and an entitlement problem. And then you create these monsters who have got, all they can do is outdo each other. So they're perpetually getting worse and worse and worse as we are experiencing. And I genuinely think it's the only backdoor we have to fixing certainly our democracy and, the rest. I'm not saying we fix the rest of the world, but I think if other countries that have this issue, it's their only option. We need to make psychological testing mandatory for positions of power, civil service and government. That's it as far as I'm concerned. And you know what? If you get in and do the job and you do it well and properly,
I keep writing this over and over again.
You get paid on a corporate level, like you probably should do. Oh, and then do you know what? Maybe you could try. You've got all sensible people with rational, sane brains in. You could make everything work well, and you could make people well and happy, and maybe even have a functioning country. It's so stupid.
That'd be nice. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the narcissism. Oh, that was hard to say in this heat. The narcissism involved in our current politics is off the scale, isn't it? I mean, we're in one narcissist up against another narcissist, and that. Yeah.
I was raised in close proximity to narcissistic personality disorder, and in a paradoxical way, I'm really grateful for that now. Because realizing that and coming to terms with it probably 20 years ago, I could have an unofficial PhD in the subject, and so I spot it more easily, and I'm able to see it in places where people present it as something else, and that's very useful. I just wish that was more widespread. But the more we talk about it, the more it will. I mean, it should be. I mean, light is a disinfectant. And I agree with you. There should be a filter to keep people with such behaviors away from positions of power. And that itself, would be problematic and open to abuse. I'm not suggesting that would be simple or always fair, but it's essential. Because one person, look at Trump, one person can damage the entire world.
Yeah, the whole planet.
And all the billions of people in it. It's that dangerous.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
I think we'll talk a bit more about Trump later for sure, because obviously stuff's been in the news this week about him again. But
So sorry, that's a Farage.
Yeah, well, that was my Farage point. I just found it funny with his PMQs thing. Shall I run through my reform roundup points quickly, and then we'll get rid of it, because then it's out of the way. And as Sal and I have said a few times, we'd rather not be talking about these guys, but because everyone else is, we have to. You know how it is, and if everyone stopped talking about them, then we definitely would. But at the moment, we have to just sort of try and.
I can't wait for them to go away. And they're doing a really good job of trying to get rid of themselves. So.
They're doing a fantastic job of it. Like that's one of my points, which I'll just find now, because I was going to make a list this week of reform councillors that have here we are, left, been suspended, resigned, what have you. But the ever amazing Reform Party UK Exposed account on Twitter, who I'm now in contact with, and they're really, really cool.
Yeah, good guys,
put
aren't
out a list before I could do it, so it saved me a job. And they've had 13 to date councillors dropped out, suspended or resigned, 2 MPs and 1 chairman. Not bad going since May.
Over the course of
So
£1
as
million
you said,
quid
they're doing a brilliant job.
by-elections.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job of wiping themselves out bit by bit. And it's not slow drip feed. It's like quite a torrent of people leaving at a rate. So yeah,
well, they don't actually want to govern, do they? Just as Farage, as an MEP, never turned up to fisheries or anything else, unless there was something in it for him.
Exactly.
But I do worry that people will still vote for them, despite all of that, and despite their clear hypocrisy, talking about, Doge and waste. How much money have they wasted by forcing by-elections? Their MAGification of the UK, a phrase I believe I have invented. They are MAGifying our country, and they are succeeding outside of politics in doing that through social media and stuff. So I want them to go away, but I am not taking my eye off them either, especially when it comes to Wales, which I'll talk about later.
Yeah, let's talk about
really
that
think
in a minute,
because
that's Well, I think that's going to be a real litmus point in how successful reform can be, because I think if they are sort of remotely successful in Wales, then there is a real concern. I think, they're polling at the top at the moment, as they are in Britain. I still don't think that's really realistic in when it comes to voting, but we'll find out. And I think the Welsh vote will be the first big test of that, I think.
Yes, it will. Yeah, it's the next.
Excuse me.
It's the next big battleground. And
definitely.
Yes, they're pulling on top. So are Plaid Cymru, but as you said, Reform get all the attention. Plaid don't. Plaid have the same number of MPs now, but they don't get invited onto things because being rational just isn't clickbait.
No, that's it.
But Welsh Labour, have been running Wales for many years and are not doing a great job of it. And their promise was, once we have Labour at both ends of the M4, it'll be great for Wales. Well, it hasn't been. And Wales is being sold out in all kinds of ways. We're shortchanged and then expected to be grateful for that. Where often, I'm sorry, I know I don't sound Welsh. My hometown is Llangollen. My dad was Welsh. I just grew up in Canada for a while and picked this up. So I am nervous because a lot of people will be deserting Labour, but who will they be going to instead? Lib Dems are not that strong in Wales at all.
Not in Wales, no.
I think the Wales Green Party are great, and they've gradually made inroads, but they're just not strong enough to that leaves Plaid. And I think that Reen Pureworth, the leader of Plaid, is great, and I think their messaging's great, but it's just very rational. And people don't necessarily respond to that. So
no,
it could be interesting. But if some more big reform scandals happen in the meantime, because we've got till next May. Yeah.
There's plenty of time for them to fall to pieces.
We will see what happens, but it's definitely something we have to keep an eye on, and they're putting a lot into it.
They are
a lot,
really going for it, aren't they? Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, but Beth Rigby has got some big piece coming out about reform in Wales. But in her tweet about it, she talked about the Welsh Assembly. There hasn't been a Welsh Assembly in years. I wrote a whole piece for Byline Times about this, how Wales is ignored until it's either seen as a problem or presented as a problem, or until it suddenly becomes politically useful, and then it's all over the news. But when you get people in London talking about Wales, they often get it very wrong. So that's a problem.
Yeah. I think, we'll see. I mean, as you say, we've got plenty of time until then. We've got nearly a year until, was it 10 months or something away until that happens. So,
But America had 4 years to stop Trump. After he'd fomented sedition, and now look.
The Democrats really royally fucked that one up, didn't they?
The difference, though, is that Reform are like dress-up Republicans. They're not like the real deal. They've got no substance. They haven't got Musk's money or Trump's power. Like Farage isn't Trump as much as he might want to be, and he never will be. And he just doesn't have the gravitas that Trump carries towards, that MAGA feel from Trump. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a handful of people that think Nigel's great, but I think it's a relative handful. What we haven't mentioned, and what even I forgot to put on my list, was the upcoming threat from the left now that we've just found out about. Corbyn Sultana.
Yeah.
Jobby, what's it?
Yeah.
I don't know why people keep saying it's splitting the left, because the left's gone from Labour. The Labour are centrists and people with hope.
Yeah.
So it's all it's all still a long way away, isn't it?
I just worry about who's behind Farage. He keeps going to America for a reason, and recently changed the name of Reform UK Limited with Companies House to be Reform 2025 Limited, which makes me think of Project 2025. And you know he's engaged with all of those people. I can never forget him leaving the Ecuadorian embassy years ago when Assange was still there, holed up. And someone who worked across the street spotted Farage going in to the embassy and was on his lunch break, I think, popped out for a prat or something, saw him, and then tweeted about it. And someone from BuzzFeed picked it up and raced down there in time to catch Farage on his way out and said, "What are you doing in there?" And he said, "I can't remember." He was literally still on the doorstep.
Yeah.
And just after that was the whole WikiLeaks that really helped bring Hillary Clinton down. There's so much. He's attached to, connected to so many people in this world. I mean, just read Carol Cadwallader on him.
Yeah.
That concerns me. It's not just his power, it's what's behind him, who's around him, what money is there, where's it from. These are the
I think Steve Bannon's the linchpin in all of this on both sides of the Atlantic with Trump and Farage. He has been, since Brexit, basically been sort of behind Farage and sort of, I don't know specifically, he's not been bankrolling him, but he's been finding the right people to send the money towards Brexit Party, the Brexit movement.
Is it 9 or 8 of the jobs he's got as well?
Reform as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
But who's employing him with all these other positions he's got?
10.
But you know about plus there's the PAC now, right? GB PAC.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. No, I'm not Americanising it.
We don't have an American thing.
We have think tank twats.
And that is, very much a reform entangled thing. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, that's Ben Habib, isn't it? He set up the GB PAC.
The Heritage Foundation.
Ben Habib.
Well, that would be the Heritage Foundation, will it?
Reform.
Yeah.
Because it's Heritage Foundation that's running 2025.
Oh yeah, that's Turning Point. They're part of that, yeah.
But they're all tangled up, aren't they? Them, Tufton Street, the lot. The worst thing this country ever allowed to happen was to allow think tanks to set up in Tufton Street. Another wonderful Thatcher legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Exactly. Ironically, yeah, it's something that Sal and I talk about a lot. Is in the malign influence in the media, and an awful lot of it comes out of that one location in London, doesn't it? And they are bankrolled on high levels by fossil fuel, oil and gas, hedge funds in
All
Dubai.
the worst people in the world.
GB News is owned by a Dubai-based hedge fund,
Saudi.
Paul Marshall. Absolutely, everyone that you could think that is you wouldn't want in charge of anything that is basically Lex Luthor or a Batman baddie. These are the people
And
that are
usually a
running
foreign one.
everything at the moment and controlling the media.
Yeah, we're not running
We spend
ourselves
a
by
lot
a
of
long
time
chalk.
talking about them, but at the other end of all of that,
Sorry, Rachel, go on.
Yeah, sorry, Sal. There's a delay. Also, my ADHD interrupting habit. Apologies.
It's all right. Don't worry.
At the end of all of them, you have the sort of people, some people in Wales may vote for reform because they see it as a ray of hope, even though they voted for Brexit and will themselves say that was an error.
Yeah.
And it's the same
absolutely.
people involved. They may well vote for them again because they just need hope. They're looking for hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I just edited and published a book called Austerity in Wales, Leveling Down, Austerity in Wales. I'll send you the link. And
please.
it's a collection of articles by wonderful Welsh people about lots of different aspects of austerity in Wales. And one thing we need to collect more of is the lived experiences of people who've been impacted by austerity. The figures are horrifying. The level of child poverty in Wales is horrifying. The amount of things that need to be done to get that country really right and to stop people's suffering and desperation. It's huge. It's a huge task. If Plaid, for example, did win the Senate next year, they've got a major uphill battle on their hands because of the legacy left there. But no one hardly talks about austerity even anymore, even though Labour MPs of all people voted for more of it last night.
I've got it on record.
So I think we need to keep it on the agenda and keep talking about it.
Right. I had a Labour MP on Blue Sky tell me I had a ding-dong with her because she told me austerity was over categorically, and I went, how dare you? How absolutely dare you? And she was like, why are you picking on me?
Austerity is said to be over.
It's insane. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want to name and shame them?
Antonia Bance, I think, or Bunce or something.
I
don't know. It was on Blue Sky. It was ages ago on Blue Sky, and I just thought, how dare you? In fact, it was so long ago. I think it was not long after the election. It was like maybe September, something like that. She's like, austerity is over. And I'm like, who for?
Yeah.
Who?
Wow.
So,
for them, for the politicians, it might be.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, some of the Labour politicians in Wales were parachuted into safe seats last year. They're English, not Welsh.
Oh, she's definitely one of them.
The death of austerity has been declared over and over, year after year, of course, since 2010, really. But to me, it goes beyond gaslighting. It is abhorrent because research suggests, and it's increasingly hard to unpick this from 2019 onwards because of the impacts of Brexit, which is in itself a form of austerity, and COVID. But up till from 2010 to 2019, it's quite possible that over 1 million people were killed by austerity, who died, who wouldn't otherwise have. Yeah. And of course, it's only certain communities, and it's more of an impact on women, it's more of an impact on minorities, it's more of an impact on the disabled. That's more than twice as many people died in World War II at home and abroad.
Yeah.
And yet we have this annual poppygasm every November for the people who died in that war 80 years ago. We have a wall of hearts for people who died of COVID. We don't have any such remembrance for those people. It's a democide that wasn't even noticed.
World War II, Hitler is recorded as murdering 250,000 disabled and vulnerable people. 250,000. The Tories did more than 4 times that. Deliberately. Cameron knew exactly what he was doing. And you're absolutely right.
So we put this book together. They're all articles that were published in Bylines Cymru in February while I was editor-in-chief still, and into March. When I said, who cares about austerity? Do you want to write about it? we had a WhatsApp group of 30 people overnight. People
wow.
really care about it.
Yeah. Excellent.
And wrote lots of different aspects of it. And I mean, Wales is so often invisible. Austerity is so often invisible. So for me to pull all of that together in one place and bring those voices together is really powerful. And we have
absolutely.
A pay-as-you-can model. Again, this focus on inclusion and diversity, not just from a kind of background point of view, but a wider socioeconomic viewpoint, so that the people who can't afford it don't lack access to it. But ideally, the people who can afford it will chip in and support our community to keep doing this kind of project. We want to do a companion volume gathering voices of people who have real lived experience of austerity.
Yes. That sounds excellent.
That will help with that. We've done it for a number of reasons. We talked about lots of different purposes, and one is kind of a primer, but just to put it on the record, this has happened, and we need to talk about this as well, and not just talk about the dangers of reform or Tufton Street or whatever. This is what happens at the other end of that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's the knock-on effect, isn't it, that nobody else understands?
Yeah, it's real lives and real deaths. And there are not many people. There's a really great thing called the Museum of Austerity, and it's actually a multimedia touring exhibit. So it's worth having a look online for that. Sometimes it seems to sort of go quiet for a while, and then it finds a new host space. And I think it does have some dates coming up. And that's a wonderful way to make sure that those voices are heard.
Well, I'll get that in the links below as well, definitely, in the show notes for sure, along with yours as well, Rachel, definitely.
Thank you.
So, that'd be great. Yeah, it'd be lovely. I'll definitely get on that and have a look, so for sure. Sounds awesome. So, yeah. Right. Go on, carry on.
While I think of it, I found a scoop this week.
Oh, exciting.
I write for Ballin Times a lot, and I didn't start really in a proper journalistic career until my late 50s. I fell into it accidentally. I had been working overseas for years, and I was so horrified what I saw when I came back to the UK when Brexit forced me back. The first thing that really bugged me was stealth privatization of the NHS, followed by the state of the rental market in the UK and just the unaffordability of homes for so many people. So, and I saw a call out for pitches from Byline Times, and that kind of got me going. And then I ended up launching and running Bylines Cymru, which is the first time I've done anything like that. Literally 25 years ago almost, I was the founding editor of Travelers Times magazine, which is still going, though long since been taken over by others, including Gypsies and Travelers themselves, which I think is awesome.
Cool.
But so I have 4, soon to be 5 Substacks. One of them is called Cymru Conversations, and it's what I'm doing post Bylines Cymru. I'm trying to create a new kind of journalism called publication. So most Substacks are people using their Substack for their voice, which is brilliant, and that's what my others are mostly for. But this is going to be a hub where I'm going to try and connect and amplify voices, but with a particular focus on Wales. But it's almost like an experiment. Like if this can work for Wales, then it could work for lots of other people. Yeah, and that's good. It's not citizen journalism; it's community journalism, and it's founding community through journalism. If you see what I mean. So, for example, there's lots of really great campaign groups in Wales. If I can convince them all to start their own Substacks and then connect them through Substack, and they can do live videos together, or the possibilities are endless because it's not just for writing. You can have live video, recorded video, podcasting, anything you want on it. And again, it's free. So it hasn't got that socioeconomic barrier. It has other barriers, like as a neurodivergent person, doing a live video took about 2 days of my life away in terms of my nerve endings. But it was still worth doing, and it was partly worth doing to have learned the lesson that, okay, don't be all, it's so easy, anyone can do it. Well, actually, there are other costs for some people. who may not be confident in doing such a thing, but it's
I
good
still
to know
can't. I still can't go on TikTok.
Right? Like it's very exposing and nerve-wracking. But I think it can be worth doing. But I think we need to acknowledge it's not always, it's easy, but it's not. One of my Substacks is called The Bite, and it's takethebite.substack.com, and you will love it because it's fucking sweary and sarcastic. Because I love my writing style is often like that, but for obvious reasons, editors at other publications take that stuff out, and I get that. I wrote a piece for Ballantyne's years ago about cocaine use in Parliament and the finding of traces of cocaine throughout Parliament, including the bogs, the bogs outside Boris Johnson's office. And I looked up every euphemism for cocaine that exists. I put them all in. Electric sherbet, Colombian marching powder, you name it, I had it in there. I thought it gave it a bit of a kind of, a fun voice, and it all got taken out.
Did it?
But I'm nearly 60. I'm at the age psychologists say that you should, really kind of love your wounds and really welcome your shadow side. So The Bite is where I let her out to play.
Do you shadow work?
I've been doing this. Yes, I'm doing my shadow work through the fucking Bite. And about 3 years ago, I'm cat sitting in Paris right now, and I was sitting at this exact desk with this exact same ancient cat. She was even ancient then. And I read about, do you remember the 70 billion pound net zero contract? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
So there were 2 people in Penzance, except they're not. It's just where their business is registered.
Oh, yeah.
Who were apparently handed a contract worth 70 billion pounds.
Yeah, and they had like £500,000
to
business
every
or
public
something.
Authority in the country.
Yeah, I do know.
That's right. And it was handed to them by an equally small business on a farm in Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
And the press obviously leaped on this because of the figure involved. But then they said, oh no, it's just a framework contract. So what they did was basically they pulled that figure out of their ass. They looked at the whole value of net zero work in the UK to get us net zero compliant by 2030, which was 140 billion, and just cut it in half. So it wasn't really worth that. So all of the press were like, oh, okay, nothing to see here. Let's move along. But I couldn't let it go because I was like, who are these people? So I didn't let it go, and the Good Law Project didn't let it go. And they felt that this contract had been awarded unlawfully. So they applied for a judicial review of it. And in the following November, when everyone had already moved past this story, the awarding body didn't want to have to fight it in court, so the whole thing got dropped. But I looked into these people, and their story, the backstory of how they're connected around the world is wild. It takes you from the island of Sarawak in Indonesia to the Wolf of Wall Street and Leonardo DiCaprio to the Panama Papers. I'm not saying they're directly connected to those things, but their story does connect them to all of those things. So I did a 3-part series at the time that no one paid attention to on my first Substack. But ever since I've been thinking, what are they up to now? So I've spent the past week looking it up. And it turns out they already had a contract. And I knew this, so I'm kicking myself that I didn't dig deeper at the time. I knew this. In 2020, they already made another contract with this same body in Hertfordshire, E2BN, worth only £4 billion. Another framework contract. So instead of Everything Net Zero, which is the one that got dropped, this one's called Everything FM, which sounds like the kind of radio station that plays multi-genre, multi-decade music. But in fact, FM means facilities management.
Okay.
So it's things that local authorities used to do is now being done by private middlemen, including procurement. And that's what they do. They connect, they approve suppliers and then connect public bodies.
How can outsourcing procurement possibly save anybody any money?
Oh,
I don't get it.
And they get a small fee for each transaction. We don't know how much that would be, but I seem to remember
£4 billion
if the
worth of
40 billion
transactions.
contract had gone. I mean, they would have got 7 million had the 40 million one gone ahead.
Yeah.
And so this one's, just 4. And it's just what they've done, though, is they folded the net zero stuff into their pre-existing Everything FM contract that they already had. So the Good Law Project thought that they had stopped them from being involved in this. But in fact, they carried it on anyway. And because that other contract was made long before, a couple of years before the net zero contract with the same people, it probably presents the same problems in terms of transparency, competitive tendering, which was there any, that the Good Law Project had with the other contract. So I discovered that this week. So if you're interested in all of that, read Take the Bite.
Gotcha.
If you're really interested in like the labyrinth and backstory, I've put links to the first 3 episodes. But
wow,
absolutely.
And it's unclear whether that contract is still extant or whether it's apparently expired, but are they still doing it? They also run MATS, Multi-Academy Trust, for free schools. You know, the whole Michael Gove semi-privatization of our state education system. They're very involved in that and have been for a long time, which is where some of the global connections really come in.
That's interesting. Yeah, sounds fascinating. I'm definitely
so that was fun this week.
Have a read of that.
That is intriguing.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a. Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
And it may seem like I'm picking on them. You know, maybe lots of companies, I've said in the piece, maybe lots of companies operate this way, and I'm sure, you know, it's all perfectly legal.
The thing is, if something is perfectly legal, it does
look like people feeding on the carcass of the state. You know, going back to austerity, it dismantled the state and asset stripped it to some extent. And this is like the next stage of that, you know. People benefiting from that. I don't like it. I know I don't like it.
The thing is, though, if you are going to enter the world of business and contracts, why is there a problem around transparency exactly? If you're not doing anything wrong, what have you got to hide?
Right. Yeah, I mean, the fact that it got dropped, I mean, no one wants to be involved in a judicial review. It's not necessarily any kind of admission of guilt.
No.
But I just think like 70 billion, I ask you. You thought, I mean, we have become normalized, as I said at the very beginning of my series, to public bodies spending ever wilder sums of money and us getting ever less for it and ever lower quality for it. We have become all too accustomed to that in the UK.
It sure didn't.
Really?
But I was just going to say, because they would say, $4 billion, it's a pittance, it's a pitiful amount of money. Yeah, but it's enough money to plunge hundreds of thousands of people into destitution and poverty. So it's not, is it? And at the same token, £90 a week in universal credit, it's an enormous amount of money to be stealing from the state. Pick a lane.
Yeah.
Pick a
lane.
It's
ridiculous.
Yeah. Plus, these are people with an education background and before that an IT or marketing background. They're not environmental experts. Who are they? How did they get this contract out of everyone else? The whole thing is just, it's so modern. It's so modern Britain. I think that's why I'm so intrigued by it.
Yeah. It's got a real whiff of the PPE kind of COVID situation about it, hasn't it?
Where it does a bit.
It's all over.
Millions and billions was just being thrown around willy-nilly by everybody, and like you said, we become normalized to these it's only 200 million, or it's only, £1 billion, and like, why are you cutting 4 billion in welfare bill when you're chucking out 100 billion or 70 billion or whatever the number is to these sort of phantom companies who are just said, oh look, we can do this, Can
Or
you?
these.
Yeah, sure.
It does
Here's some
remind me
money.
of that Catherine
Yeah.
Tate sketch.
Yeah.
I can do that she used to do.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say about PPE, because I began part 1 of the Prophets of Penzance series saying exactly that Matt Hancock gave Test and Trace to Dido Harding,
Yeah, exactly.
who was on the board of the Jockey Club, and he gave 777 million or something to Randox, which is a sponsor
Yes. Yeah.
of Aintree, also with a COVID contract, and that MP who was disgraced MP Owen Patterson was involved in that, and his wife was on the board of Jockey Club, which owns Aintree, and he was involved with Randox was his paymaster.
Yeah.
It's that whole, it's connections.
Yeah. It's all intertwined.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyway, have a read if you're interested.
Definitely.
I quite enjoyed
Again,
looking that up. But kicking myself, I didn't do it sooner.
Yeah. It's never too late, though, is it?
No. And I wrote to the Good Law Project and was like, thank you for your great work. And by the way, the thing that you thought stopped from happening, it happened anyway.
By the way.
Yeah. Cool.
Unbelievable. Well, I mean, it's not.
Excuse me.
It's just like if we had journalism, this would have been picked up by the papers.
Yeah, that's something we've said loads of times. Is that there's no effective journalism, not mainstream kind of establishment journalism isn't effective anymore at all. It's all about clicks, nothing else.
The status quo media isn't, which is why I've started publication. If you go to the site where the Austerity book is being sold, I've also got a short guide to publication there, and it explains exactly why status quo media has failed us.
Absolutely.
There's some great work being done by people like Peter Geoghegan, who's was with Open Democracy and now has a very successful Substack. There are people who do get to the bottom of this, and then there's Mick, Broken Bottle Boy on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
and his Substack looks at every week at how the status quo media is co-opted and fails us. But as I've said in my short publication guide, no one is coming to save us. We're gonna have to DIY this shit, you know.
Exactly.
What we could do, Rachel, we could segue using what you just said, because it turns out you and I have a new job title, doesn't it?
Yes, we do.
One that we're not very happy about. One that we're not very happy about. Apparently, according to or Bad Enoch, as she's known, we are Sickfluencers.
Yeah, online Sickfluencers. Oh, that's really difficult. Online Sickfluencers. She came out with that this afternoon, didn't she?
And I've added a list of merch I need to make.
Yeah.
What a sick, twisted bitch. Who would come out with that? Who? Oh, I'll tell you who. Nadine Dorries, who this week has been describing us as Lobos, as people who just go and get a mobility car for free.
Well,
that's not how it works, Nadine, you thick lush. These people, I'm telling you, they are screwed. They are absolutely screwed in the brain. How dare you, as a government minister, come out and boot the most vulnerable people in the head for no reason, you sick, twisted. Sorry, listeners, I only heard about this 5 minutes before we started recording, and I'm not very happy. Have you got Nadine's up?
No, and I'm not, but it's a badge of honor, right? Don't forget that. You know you're on the right side of history if you're getting up the noses of people like that in that way that they feel they have to attack you and make up a name for you. And so I'm building a merch store at the moment, and I am definitely adding online Sickfluencer to my t-shirts and badges.
I'll buy one.
And I will wear that with pride. Awesome.
Yeah,
because you know what? Fuck them.
Well,
do you know
that's exactly what it has to be, really.
I can't watch the speech. I saw on Twitter people's responses to it, and I thought, I cannot watch that. I'll punch a wall. So I won't. So I'm just going to
With
stay my
Kemi
peace and ignore
Badenoch,
it.
the thing I keep remembering is that she hacked Harriet Harman's website.
She should be in prison.
And she made fake posts supporting Boris Johnson on that site.
Yeah.
Which broke laws that carry a maximum 5-year prison sentence.
Yeah.
And she's head of the opposition. And there were no consequences. And again, it's that lack of consequences that I keep coming back to. And that's why I keep being fierce and I keep trying to be fighting fit, is that I want justice for these things. I want the people who engineered austerity that's killed so many people to actually face some consequences. The current government just voted for more austerity in view of how many people it's already killed, and there's good evidence for that. Voting for more fits exactly within the definition of a crime against humanity. Will they ever be tried at The Hague for it? No. But that doesn't mean we can't keep talking about it in that light. Killing people, choosing to kill people, choosing to do something you know will kill people is not acceptable just because you're a government and not an individual. It's this change of consequences with context. So if you and I walk a dog and we let it shit on the pavement and we don't pick it up, we could get like up to £1,000 fine, right? But if you're a water company, you can pour endless amounts of shit into our seas and rivers and get fat bonuses still.
Yeah.
It's that, we say we're a country with the rule of law, but that's a joke. And so anytime I see this change of consequence with context, I'm like, right, I'm not letting that go. We need to keep talking about this. Will talking about it do anything? Maybe not. But at least we're noticing it. And we're saying,
we're trying.
That's unacceptable.
And we're spreading the word.
Yeah, definitely.
And understanding.
I know.
Yeah.
Which I think is what a lot of people lack. They don't.
Yeah, I didn't.
They can't join the dots because they're not quite as interested as we are.
No.
But they still, when they hear it, they're like, oh, thank God someone's talking about this. It does actually help people feel less alone and less hopeless to know that somebody's keeping this on the agenda. Somebody's noticing this. So it's valuable.
Yeah.
It's valuable work.
I think so. I think that's what we try and do every week and try and bring up these things. And as you say, that when we're talking about the media before, they get missed out because it's not interesting enough to people. It won't generate enough clicks for money. So it's left to people like us to kind of do the donkey work and bring up the sort of the stuff that isn't being put on the front page of the Daily Mail or Nigel Farage's TikTok or GB News or whatever, where all the money's being generated from.
Or, the offshore billionaires that pay their paychecks don't want to talk about.
No, traitors. That's what we call them.
Yeah. Talking of traitors, can I just jump in there because I was going to mention about people leaving the Conservative Party to join Reform this week because it's got to. Are you all right, Sal?
Yeah, I've just got a bit.
In pain.
I'm having a bad sciatica week. That's all.
You've got
I'm just doing my Sickfluencers thing,
What was I saying? Yeah, so I just wanted to say that was one of my big things on Reform this week, and it's made me laugh a lot. Is that the amount of Tories that have joined Reform now is kind of off the charts.
Ooh, Rach, while I've got you, sorry to interrupt, Don, but just to piss on your chips a little bit. Rachel, do you know anything about Jake Berry and property in Wales?
About
Jake Berry's property deals. So Jake Berry's property dealings in Wales.
It is on my radar, and that's all I'm going to say at the moment.
Excellent. Do go on, Don. Sorry to interrupt, love.
It's absolutely fine. It was. Sorry, we've got to get it right. It's Sir Jake Berry now. Sir. He is now, according to, from what I've read, the 12th ex-Tory MP to join Reform now. So they've got 12 ex-Tory MPs on their books. On their books, I'm not really sure what they mean, whether they're they're not getting paid, I don't think, but maybe they are. I don't know. But they've got, in reverse order, I've got Chris Butler, Aidan Burley, David Jones, Michael Brown, Alan Amos, Anne Widdicombe, Anne-Marie Thomas, Ross Thompson, Marco Longhi, Andrea Jenkins, Lee Anderson, another David Jones, and Sir Jake Berry now. So they've got 12 ex-Tories. And I saw a post from, I always pronounce
Sorry,
his
are you
name wrong because I
counting?
read it as Real Braverman, and it sounds like a third division Spanish football team, but it's
Braverman's husband, isn't it?
Rael Braverman, Suala's husband. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Braverman's husband. And he
Have you
put
got
out
Anderson
a
on
post
there
this
as well?
morning on Twitter that Lee Anderson was on the list, yeah. But
right, sorry.
Real Braverman put out a post to say that he was voicing his concerns that Reform are becoming Tories 2.0. I sort of thought, well, you're not paying attention very well, are you, mate? Because they've been doing that for a very long time. They've already got a full football team of
Tories
Tories on their
50p.
roster. So, I don't know. It's not doing a lot for Reform's
Now, they're not going to
reputation
do that
of being...
so much in Wales because Wales has roundly rejected the Tories now.
Well, yeah.
And consider the Welsh Conservatives a bit of a joke for the most part. They don't have a lot of power, so I'm not sure how much of that they can get away with in Wales. But I am concerned, like, what keeps happening too is that this party switch comes after an election. So there's a party that you don't see in Wales until there's an election due, and then there's an election due because suddenly you start hearing a lot more from a party called Abolish in Wales, which wants to abolish the Senate and hand all Welsh power back. They want to undo devolution, hand all power back to Westminster. And I think of them as the Jill Stein of Welsh politics. You don't hear from her from one year to the next till there's an American election, and then she pops as a ringer to split certain votes.
Be the oppo. Yeah.
And I kind of think of them in that way, but they won some seats at one point by being UKIP.
Oh, right.
But what keeps happening? So some councillors won as independents and then switched to Reform. And this concerns me that this is going to happen more and more. That people will run as independents because they know they're not going to get elected as Reform, but then they'll join Reform once they've been elected. And I would really love, I don't know if petitions are just a waste of time or not, but to start petitions in Wales and England to stop that being allowed, that they have to wait a certain amount of time after election before they're allowed to change parties, because it literally was done within weeks or a couple of months. I mean, there was they didn't even try and hide it. But I just don't think that should be allowed.
No,
because people are often voting for the party, not the person, right?
Yeah.
Or voting against
you should have to stand
party.
again.
Yeah,
if you're doing that between parties,
by-election, yeah, absolutely right.
So that's just every time I see a former Tory defect to Reform, I think of two things. I think of Robert Jenrick, because he's so desperately trying to make a kind of career as a different kind of sickfluencer, shall we say?
No, he's definitely sick, isn't he?
With all these stunts that he's doing, but it's just not getting traction for him because he's not a very likable media personality. He's trying to be like I call him Sideshow Gob. What's it, Calvin Robinson? Is that his name? Or lose a fox. Like it has at times been lucrative for them. I don't think it really is anymore. And I think for some Tories, they're just not getting the kind of money they used to get. So let's join Reform because there's a possibility of it there. But I also think there's something else going on as well when people change parties, and we need to be alert to that.
Mm-hmm.
And on a personal level, I should note, I don't like any political parties. I did a whole manifesto on
Yeah.
the bite about how they should all be done away with. They're not fit for purpose in this day and age. They're not democratic,
friend.
what with the whipping and all the rest of it, for a million different reasons.
It's all
I don't agree with
bollocks.
political parties. I don't think any of them should exist. And everyone should be independent, and they should all be equally funded by public money transparently.
I think
Sounds good.
you should be able to do.
It's never going to happen.
No, but what you should be able to do is some sort of qualification that everyone's roundtabled for all the bits you need to be able to do that job. And then you come in with like a specialty, do a free exam that anyone can sit that will then enable you to go and be put into a lottery to be drawn every 4 or 5 years. And then there's, then it's a free and fair. It's not who you are, what you are. It's a random pick.
Right.
And that's how we keep it fresh.
Interesting.
I mean, it's, it's just poor.
Plus a genuine connection to their constituency. They should have, lived there for a certain amount of time. They should demonstrably connected. No parachutes.
But you need like a round table of actual genuine experts, not people who are paid to give their expertise. To figure out how we can get rid of the lunatics.
Yeah, that would be amazing. It really would.
Anyway,
I'm conscious
back
of
in
the
the real
time.
world. Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. No, we're all right. I'm just looking at the time. Yeah, okay. So, what else have you got, Sal? You wanted to talk about something else specifically?
It's not terribly important, but it turns out Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison for nothing.
Yeah,
Did
so
you
it
know?
seems.
Did you know?
Yeah,
I mean, it's quite
amazing.
incredible. Jeffrey Epstein killed himself for nothing. It's quite the newsflash, but apparently the Epstein
wasn't recording.
Yeah, the Epstein client list doesn't exist in the best Barbra Streisand moment I think the world's ever going to see. So, well done for stepping up the investigation, Trump, you fucking dick.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
All those Lolita Express flight logs, meaningless. This would be a good time to mention my theory that the P-tape was never a P-tape. Someone heard P and thought
it was a different P.
When in fact it's P for pedophile.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my personal conviction. And Trump can sue me for defamation over it because I would love the discovery phase of that. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, for people who don't know in America,
thick as fuck,
posted a video and was interviewed in February saying, I've got it on my desk. It's sitting waiting for me to look at. Okay. And now it's miraculously evaporated under Kash Patel's amazing FBI stewardship.
God.
He's lost it.
He's just a bro, isn't he? He's just a bro they've shoved into a high position. He's a bell of a bro as well.
Tech bro, definitely.
It's unreal. I don't even think he's that. He looks thick as shit. And he sounds also thick as shit.
Every time I see him on interviewed, he looks like he's on something. He doesn't seem really connected to the real world. He's a bit like Elon Musk in that respect, I think. I think they're a bit
K-hole.
K-bros, yeah, exactly.
Well, to be fair, Rach, I was going to invite you to use any word you wanted.
Yeah.
Well, these tech broligarchs, I think if, when you apply for a job and the job description has like desirable and essential, I think being thick of shit is under the essential list for that administration, to be fair.
Seems to be.
Do as you're told. Do as you're told. Take the money, piss off.
Also, as nutty as squirrel shit, like, I think, they fit right in. Yeah. I just, again, wonder if there'll ever be consequences, if these people will ever go to prison. But at this point, I'm not even convinced there'll ever be an election in America again.
Well, that's the worry. Yeah, exactly.
It's just all happened so fast that I feel like I'm living in a surreal dream world most of the time.
Yeah. It's taken me years to figure out that it's not me that's mad, it's the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it certainly is in America at the moment. It's absolutely nuts. But as you said, surreal doesn't even touch it, I don't think.
And it's sort of spreading. luckily not as much as I feared. I don't know if you know Brittle
No.
Star.
No.
That's his name on Twitter. He's a really great Canadian comedian. He has a great new book
Oh,
out
no.
that involves cats. You should check it out. He's very funny. And there's a GIF. One of my favorite things about Twitter, which I will always call it, is their really stupendous GIF collection compared to anyone else. And there's a really great GIF of him peering out of a curtain into a blizzard, holding a bag of ketchup-flavored chips, which is very Canadian.
Yeah.
And it's basically Canada watching America right now. But we very nearly had MAGAfication in Canada, and there's still places like where I spent my teens, Alberta, which there's a whole separatist movement now, and the premier of Alberta is a total she's very MAGA. It's still a danger, but thank God when they replaced
Trudeau.
Disney Prince Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
They did it with a guy who I don't like what he did to our money while he was involved in the Bank of England, but he's a much better prime minister than the alternative offered, which was like someone who'd fit right in on Trump's cabinet.
Yeah.
So, there have been some close calls, but I think I'm relieved there are a number of places we could have had more of that, and it hasn't happened despite the best effort of Russian bot farms, but we still need to keep a weather eye.
Yeah, absolutely right. Definitely we do. Definitely. Yeah. So I've got one more thing I promised people on Twitter that I would do, and it's quick. I wrote a long post the other day on Twitter about how I'm not a die-hard Labour voter. I get accused of being a Labour shill every day, 100 times a day, because most of my posts are critical of the Tories or Reform. But actually, I criticise Labour quite a lot as well, and we certainly do on this podcast. And so I just wanted to be... I just said... I wrote a post saying that I don't really have a party. I'm a bit like yourself, Rachel. I don't see where I fit in particularly. I think mostly if I was put a label on it, I'm green adjacent at the moment. Yeah, so I promised lots of people on Twitter this week that I would talk about some of the successes that Labour had in their first year, because we often... Yes, exactly. We're often slagging them off. They've made some absolutely ludicrous mistakes, and we've called them out a lot, and rightly so, but they have done a few good things. And I just wanted to say, to be fair, that was it. A few of the things that they've done, which I think are probably worthwhile and might actually achieve something. Not all of them are up to speed yet. Not all of them have passed through yet, but things like, they've said that they've got 4 million extra NHS appointments, and their NHS 10-year plan was announced this week. Things are moving forward with the NHS, although junior doctors have decided to go on strike again. But things are slowly getting better with the NHS, but it's going to take an awful lot, isn't it? But what else have they got? GB Energy launched. They've said, I'm unsure, but I think it's not a negative thing. I think it could potentially lead to something quite good if it goes through the way they planned.
Is that a big if or a
trade deals? Yeah, they've secured trade deals with India. The what? Sorry,
is
the
that
big if. Yeah,
if?
It is a big if. Yeah, it is a big if, but we'll see. So the trade deals with the EU was very good, I think. The US is still unclear what's actually happening with that. And the trade deal with India was good. So they are all positive economic wins for them. What else have we got? Ninja Swords outlawed. She's written this. I'm getting this information from Ellie Reeves, by the way, MP. She put out a post and listed a load of stuff. They scrapped the Rwanda scheme. That was a good thing, obviously, definitely. Nursery, school-based nurseries rolling out. Again, work in progress. What's that?
I heard murmurings of it.
What's coming back?
Being, the Rwanda scheme being I can't imagine how or why, but there were rumbles of people suspecting they're going to roll it out again.
Really?
But they don't seem to give too much
Oh, I've not
fuss
heard
about
that.
human rights, do they?
That's...
So,
No, they don't. Certainly not with the welfare stuff.
or Palestine.
British Steel, they've done a bit for... no, yeah.
We need to get our
And,
Gary on to discuss the steel issue.
well, yes, we will. We've got a guest coming up who's a bit of an expert on that, isn't he? So we'll get him booked in soon, and we'll be able to talk a lot about steel. So that'd be a cool thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Labour, really. Free breakfast clubs, actually, that's a fair one. And banning 0-hour contracts. Although, again, I don't think that's quite gone through yet.
That's all looking a bit suspicious.
And
reform
the renters reform bill. If it, as I said, these are all positive ideas, but not a lot of them have actually gone into force yet. So, yeah, the renters' rights bill I think will be a good bill once it goes through. That's an important one, I think, and I sort of, yeah, I'd be behind that one for sure. So,
listen,
that's about it, I think.
I don't like the way British politics has been run since time immemorial. That's my big issue. It's not necessarily for me always about the people or about Labour. It's I want to be sat here saying this is amazing. They've done this week, and it's going to have this implication that's going to be a positive for society. But my God, I'm struggling. And the kids' breakfast clubs, absolutely brilliant, because if kids have got nutrition, their brains develop better, they learn easier, they sleep better, and they become healthier individuals as they grow up. However, 60p a head it's not even a drop in the ocean, it's a cell in that drop in the ocean, when teachers are still struggling to buy equipment for their own classrooms out of their own money, while people who wouldn't even buy a packet of rich tea if you were popping down to their house without putting it on expenses, strip all the money away. Education is the bedrock of a healthy economy and society, and we're yet to have one.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I it's not for me about I hate Angela Rayner. It's about these people needing to do better in a culture environment that is doing nothing but increasingly proving that humans are just digits on a bloody spreadsheet to them all. I want to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
Please.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice. Yeah, I know.
Sorry, it wasn't meant to do my one then, it just happened.
No, I agree. I think it's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'd just say for people that are watching us on the podcast, if this looks slightly different to the bit before and the bit after, we had a few tech fails on the original record. So this is like a little mini top-up record, which is going to go in. You might notice I'm not wearing the same top. I look a bit different. And Dr. Rachel's not with us as well. So yeah, just in case there's any weird confusion as to what's going on with people like noticing when they watch a video.
To be exactly
but I'll
the
get
same
the edits
well.
out tonight, and that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Sal texted me, said she'd wear the same dress and everything, and I completely forgot because I was out shopping all day and then got back and forgot, and it was too hot. So sorry.
I could have been sat here in a bikini. Because it's that day. I'm a small upside to massive electricity bills.
Exactly. So yeah, that was my bit about Labour, and I do think they, in certain tracks, certain respects, they're on the right track. They need to move faster. They need to move a bit quicker. Did I just hear a cat? Sounded like a cat.
Yeah, he announces himself when he comes in the house. And that's just what you want on your knee in 32 degrees.
I just heard him.
Smashing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
just ignore Bruce, he's fine.
Nice. A cat warmer. Yeah, I think for all the things they've done wrong, and there are an awful lot, there are some positives to be had out of their first year, and that's all I really wanted to put forward on that. There is a little bit of hope in some areas, which I think we need to look for, and because there's a lot of shit as well, and that's really pretty much all I wanted to say on that matter.
Well, what I've learned is that
was it, really.
Even if it destroys your mental health, going to see your MP can pay dividends, because mine completely changed the tune over the welfare bill. So I recommend everybody goes and sits in front of their MP and shows them exactly what their government's doing to people.
Did she change actually after you saw her?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I was directly responsible, but I'm sure me and whoever else was in touch with her had some bearing on it. Notwithstanding her niece, as she kept pointing out to me, oh, she's in a very similar boat. She's got fibromyalgia too. Right, okay.
Right.
We share a diagnosis, nice one. And yeah, she went against it. The only thing she's not done is, I was a bit disappointed she hasn't signed the Labour MPs against Israel. But one thing at a time, I guess.
Oh, right, okay. Mine has, actually. I
nice.
checked mine out on that front. Yeah, he's a new Labour MP, and he's very much on the left of the Labour Party. He's very sort of he's a GP in the local area, and he's quite a socialist, I think, really. And he's sort of he's quite a lefty, although hard to get hold of. So I've been trying to get hold of him for about 3 or 4 months now. That's one thing that's a bit of a drawback.
Would you like me to knock you a little email?
In terms of his voting record, looks all right. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm joking.
We could do that.
You're
we could
more
start
than capable.
putting...
But I've got a turn of phrase that people really, really struggle to say no to.
Okay.
I'm just not very good at
we should
people.
Market that.
I know. I've moved mountains when I've had it in me to make a complaint. We could put templates on our website when I finally get round to finishing it, and sell templates for people. Offer them to be downloaded. Do you know what was dead interesting though? And I'm using interesting when I probably should use different words. But she was so misinformed. She was literally spouting Labour lies at me when I went to see her, and I had to literally take them apart with knowledge and facts. And she sat there just like a little guppy fish, an 83-year-old guppy fish. No,
I remember you saying at the time afterwards.
Here's the proof. And you're the MP, and
yeah.
So just disabuse them of their falsehoods.
Yeah.
We might get somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely. That's an improvement, isn't it? Anything that to change their minds and make a difference is a good thing. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm just going to say, because we're out of this time continuum loop on our episode, so this is not Thursday. This is actually Saturday now. Just for people, give it away now. But I would like to point you to something that I found out and wrote about yesterday about Doge. Go to my Twitter feed; it's my pinned tweet. Basically, Doge have nothing. They have the same access to anyone's data that I have. And in fact, it seems like with decent councils like West Northamptonshire, I've probably got more in access because they were so friendly and gave me way more than I'd asked for. And they're a very diligent and exceptionally well looked after council. Yeah, exactly. But go and have a look. Just have a look on my Twitter. It's the top post. It's a long article, but it's worth a read if you're interested in reform and how Doge, Zaya Yusuf's pet project, basically is a smokescreen of bullshit. That's my sum up on that.
All of it completely in total, a balloon of nothing. It's just angry entitlement and saying
it
words.
Really is.
And they've got nothing to be angry
Yep.
about. I wouldn't
It
mind.
really is.
It's faux
They got
outrage,
nothing.
isn't it?
Yeah, completely. It is. Well, that's the thing in the article. It's a bit. It's quite telling for me. One of the documents that they sent me was information requested by Doge of the council in advance. They haven't met them yet, or they haven't even requested a proper meeting yet. But what they've requested is really like they want to know about asylum hotels, HMOs, demand-led services, adults and children's social care, home to school transport. This is stuff that Doge have requested from West North Hants. It's all kind of wedge issues. It's kind of like that culture wars stuff. They haven't really the stuff they're requesting might save them a bit of money, but it's not really about saving money. It's about creating headlines. But you know, that's all it is. It's headline
So they just want
grabbing
figures
stuff.
that they can
But they
twist
can't.
into nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. They want to use it for their propaganda and sort of headline, as you said, faux outrage bait. But
And
they
if all
just
these
haven't got anything. They
councils
can't. Go on.
are having to seek legal advice, who's paying the fees for that legal advice again?
Yeah.
Who's
Well,
saving
that's
money?
it. The councils are. Yep. So one of the things I wrote, I'll just find it. Yeah, the council go into a lot of detail about the legal ramifications, political ramifications, and they do not want to be seen to be favouring reform in any way. But they've also said they've put them on notice. They haven't given them anything because Doge haven't officially requested a meeting. But, excuse me, but they've said if they give them information and it gets leaked in any way, they'll sue them to fucking shit. They'll take them to the cleaners, basically, because any information that's handed over to a third party is strictly confidential. So even if they did get access to anything or manage to achieve anything, they can't tell anybody about it anyway. It's completely and utterly locked down legally. So they're up shit creek. It's a nonsense. It's absolute bullshit, all of it. So that's that really.
I mean, it's going back to what I said the other week, isn't it? They are playing dress up MAGA. They don't have the authority that MAGA don't really have either, but they are in overall charge, so they don't care. Again, legal fees from taxpayers, going to be a big old bit in the budget coming out of that soon.
Definitely.
There's just no substance to them.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
House of cards built on sand.
No. Yes, completely. It is. And it's very, very shaky at the moment. And lots of us are, like you and I, Reform UK Exposed, The Bear, Dave Lawrence. There's loads of us online that are picking away at them bit by bit. And as you said, those cards are starting to wobble now. And, you know, Zaya Yusuf blocked me. He knows that I've got stuff that is... it proves his lies. He blocked me for it, you know. But luckily, I have a nice Twitter following, so anything I post about Zaya gets reposted to him like hundreds of times. So he still knows I'm here.
You're still
exactly.
Work.
So he's still getting my messages.
It's like no, can't see him. It's not happening. It's gone now.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a dog, isn't it? Yeah. Cover my eyes and you're not there. You've gone away. I know. So that's quite amusing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, Reformer are a wobble. They're definitely on a wobble at the moment.
Now let's keep pushing.
Yes, we will. We will keep pushing. I had a message from the Bear today who wants me to do a sort of article alongside him about this freedom of information stuff. So, yeah, happily do that with him. I haven't replied to him yet, so if he listens, he'll see it before I'll reply to him before this goes out. But he's asked if I'll sort of collaborate on an article with him, so that's cool. But yeah, I think there's definitely a momentum building against reform because we can see the cracks have appeared and the light's shining through now, and they're just falling to pieces. So
they will not. The worse it gets, they will not react well to
and did
it.
you see Ed? No, they won't.
There will be
Did you
many
see
more
Ed Davey put in
tantrums to
an
come.
official complaint to Ofcom?
I did. I was going to
Yeah, they
raise
were.
that. Yeah. Yeah. For what it's worth, but at least someone's doing it.
Yeah.
If we all did it, it might make a difference.
Yeah.
So I now need to go
I know.
copy and paste whatever he did, and then send
It
it
might.
to Ofcom. But I mean, we need
Yeah, but
overall
at least
change,
if
don't
it's
we?
if
We
it's
need
coming
change
from
in attitude of the government, and that's not going to happen unless we have a genuine left wing coming up on the outside. Let's restore truth and morality and integrity and transparency. I say restore, sorry, create. Silly me, I keep forgetting. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Where for restore from when? Yeah, when did that happen? Yeah.
When we thought that's what we had, but it was all still pretend. Now we know it's pretend.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah. No, well. Anyway, I think that'll probably, unless you've got anything you want to bring up, that'll be enough to fit in and fill the gaps. Yeah, cool.
But
that'll be good. I'll fill the gaps.
I know I say it all the time, but
yeah, definitely.
The more people we can spread the message of truth to, the better. You shouldn't need a degree in psychology to interpret the news, but apparently these days you tantamount to. So, and it's wrong.
Pretty much.
And we've had enough.
Yeah.
On that bombshell.
Okay, cool. Right. I am going to wrap it up because I've got a hungry son to go and feed. I'm glad to manage to get back in at the end. Thanks. Thank you to Dr. Rachel for joining us. It was brilliant to chat to her. She's a really fascinating person and loved catching up with her. Yeah, hopefully we'll get her back as well at some point soon to sort of update us on her investigations, and I'll put all the links to her stuff down below. That's cool. But yeah, other than that, from me, I've got nothing else. Please do find us on TikTok as well, remember. It has been a long one. We're nearly at 2 hours. Yeah, cool. All right, let's say goodbye. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming. See you later. Bye-bye.